my god, am I live? Is this a happening thing? Can anyone see me? This is going to be quite the experience, I think. Please let me know in the chat if I'm visible and indeed if I can be heard, because I have no idea. Yo. Hey dude. Yes, we see you. Yes. Okay, good. I'm going softly spoken, I think, for this live. Oh, kia ora, Muzz. For anyone who doesn't know, kia ora means hello in Māori. I mean, it means a heck of a lot of different things. It means thank you and goodbye and all sorts as well. Katie ASMR. I'm just going to say a quick hello to everyone in the chat. Swarms, Rena, Spooky AL, Annalisa, Jessie, hello, Jenny, yes, Jenny. If anyone hasn't seen Jenny's amazing artworks, please go and check them out. She's started doing some portraits for the gentlemen, and they're absolutely stunning. Southern Belle, hello. Alpha, what's up, man? GG, yes, we can hear and see you. That is brilliant news. Katie ASMR, hello. Wineria, if I can just talk very quickly about Wineria's latest earthbending video. It's superb. It's absolutely amazing. You absolutely smashed it out of the park. Well done. I love it. Earthbending from Avatar, The Last Airbender, which has been my recent obsession. Dan, hello. Hipchick, hello. Broyles, YouTube, hey, what's up? Eleanor Phillips, hello. Maria Clara, hi. God, that's so cool. Coming from the gentleman video. Yes, I suspect a lot of you will be. Okay. I mean, I think just before I start answering questions, I wanted to do this because I recorded something on the weekend that I really wasn't that happy with. And it was a sort of podcast style video with my friend Joe. And I just really didn't like it for whatever reason. I found it indulgent. I mean, Katie ASMR can attest to the fact, I mean, we were texting over it and she was trying to get me to release it. And I was just like, it's just so indulgent and self-obsessed. But, so it means I didn't have a release this week. But it sort of inspired me to want to do a live stream so I could sort of force myself to talk about these things. So I do want to talk about, like the gentleman. Echo, did you say? Is there an echo? So this is my chance to, I think, talk to some of the people, to you brilliant people who haven't spoken to in a while. Liam says hi, by the way. Hey, Liam. When can we expect the gentleman part? I've only recently come around to the idea that there might be a gentleman part 2. And obviously I need to talk to the boys about this. Hey, Whispering Life, hello. Jeremiah, what's up? And actually, you know, for those who don't know, and I presume actually that everyone possibly in this chat probably knows, ASMR Muzz and ASMR Jeremiah played 2 of the fantastic gentlemen in The Gentleman. ASMR Muzz played Mad Davy, and ASMR Jeremiah played Teddy Quid. And there's... Hey Laurie, hey Gary, hey everyone. I'm a new Muzz fan. Everyone should be a Muzz fan. Muzz is the greatest. We are Kiwi bros. Gentleman part 2, what are we talking about? I've come around to the fact that there should be a gentleman part 2, depending on the boys' appetite for it. This probably won't be for a little bit, won't be for a while, but hey, also it's Friday night here. Cheers. So I need to be sure the timing is right. I need to be sure that we're doing it for the right reasons, because part of me feels like it was this perfect storm of brilliant elements and brilliant people. Will The Gentleman 2 be in theatres? We can only hope. Talks are in, we're talking with Netflix now. I thought Muzz was Scottish, not Kiwi. He certainly does sound Scottish. Muzz will be able to explain this far better than I can. But Muzz, I believe, spent over 10 years. Wineria. Thank you. This is the first time, actually, I'd completely forgotten, actually, that I was, that people could super chat. That's crazy. Thank you so much. I've only recently become monetized due to the gentleman video. So that's crazy to me. Thank you. Yeah, Muzz is Muzz. You're so right, Jenny. Gentleman part 2. I keep on losing my thread. I'm so sorry. I'm sure this video, this whatever we're doing, live stream, is going to go sort of like that. Yeah, we need to get the time. We need to give it the time it deserves to breathe. It was just such a fun experience, and you know, it was no small amount of work, obviously. So, yeah, at some point, to be honest, there are other story universes that I want to work on, and there are other sort of. It sort of changed the vision for the channel slightly. It's still about storytelling, but about a different sort of storytelling. Eleanor, what are you up to this weekend? Is that to me or to everyone? What I'm up to this weekend is I'm going to be in my studio filming. Again, some sort of new story universe things. I think The Gentleman was so fun that I would be, I think, doing the channel, and indeed some of the newbies to the channel who came through The Gentleman, a disservice by not trying to at least explore that medium, because, you know, I think it was quite... Katie, stop throwing me money. I'm just going to throw it back to you. Hey Blues, how are you? Thanks so much for coming. Muzz, stop it. Thanks, bro. You're awesome too. If I can repay the compliment, I think that The Gentleman was such a. It was just like the fun was working with the dudes. It was just the process. Story universe, kind of like Ephemeral Rift's Arkham Asylum. Sort of. I think I've always been reluctant to roleplay characters that people are familiar with. You know, I've thought in the past about doing, like, I don't know, one of the Avengers characters or a Star Wars character or whatever. And which is, I don't know why I'm so reluctant, because I watch roleplays more than I do sort of typical trigger videos. And I'm reluctant to do it because I think if I played like Tony Stark or whatever, I would do the character such a disservice, because, you know, people have such emotional feelings about various characters. And so I'm really keen to create new story universes. You know, I think that partly why people have responded so well to The Gentleman, if I can say that, with some level of humility, is because they responded to they responded to the world building, I think, and that was really cool to see, because even though it's a really familiar world with really familiar tropes, and we were, you know, using pretty familiar language, they're still original characters, and it was still an original world that people could get lost in without worrying about whether or not we were correctly emulating their favorite characters. And so I think I'm keen to do that. I'm keen to start story universes and create different stories. I mean, I think that storytelling is such at the heart of so much stuff that I listen to and sort of absorb and am keen on. You know, I work in the arts and in entertainment, and I think that it's really important to me that, I mean, my channel's been about storytelling so far as well, just with not original writing. So, yeah. I'm rambling. Whispering Life. Yes, do more role plays. You're so good. Thanks. I think that the bit that lets them down, I know people will disagree with me for saying so, is I don't act. I'm not an actor. I think that, Wineria, I adored your King of Hearts, and you bring new personality traits to the characters. Thank you so much. I think that why I liked the King of Hearts is because it was... Thanks, Gary. You're a legend. Gary the Grey, everyone, is such a just brilliant supporter of ASMRtists everywhere. I mean, I know that you all know this. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you like no one knows. Thank you so much, Gary. Annalisa, don't get me started, Atlas. Yeah, I mean, I say I'm not an actor. I'm not at all. It doesn't mean that I can't necessarily embody these very similar to me characters that I'm writing for myself. But I'm like with the King of Hearts thing. I'm interested in making more conceptual videos. I don't know what I mean by conceptual videos, but if you watch the King of Hearts, it was graphically and visually and auditorily conceptual. And that, in some part, distracted from my acting ability, or lack thereof. Sorry if I'm being too self-deprecating during this stream. It's unfortunately my personality. And similarly with The Gentleman, I sort of wrote myself a part that could carry, or rather stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, I was the sort of ringleader of this of such an incredible amount of talent that all I really needed to do was just introduce them and let them do the heavy lifting. Not to say, of course, that my part at the beginning didn't involve acting, because it did. I had to work on that Cockney accent for a very long time. Left leg, right leg, there you go, shut up. Who's here? Nathan. Hey, Nathan. I have to say, I love, it was your Lord of the Rings map one. I watched it the other day, and it's so cool. It's really, really relaxing. Anyone who hasn't checked out Nathan ASMR, please do. Laurel, hey. Thanks very much for coming. ASMR Jeremiah, I wanted to ask you, Atlas, where did that music come from? Are you talking about the music in The Gentleman? I presume so. The music in The Gentleman came from the YouTube sort of free music library. I did a lot of hunting for it. But it, I mean, I knew what I was looking for. I didn't quite want to go down the sort of, for those who didn't pick up on it, The Gentleman was massively inspired by Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie being the director behind Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Rock and Roller, the Sherlock Holmes films, and very recently, of course, The Gentleman. And The Gentleman video, I think, bared very little sort of resemblance to its namesake. But, I mean, it was mainly inspired by Rock and Roller, to be honest. But I knew that I wanted the music to be upbeat. You know, Rock and Roller, as the title might suggest, features a sort of banging rock and roll score. And I knew that I couldn't do that within the realms of an ASMR video. So I needed something that was a little bit more sort of suave, a little bit more sort of classical, and the sort of dum 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 was sort of percussive and energetic enough, but low enough and sort of smooth enough that it could be sort of inoffensive to, you know, to your ears. Chat. Gosh, there are so many people here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to watch me drink beer on a Friday night. I just thought that it would be cool to not spend tonight alone. That's not me feeling sorry for myself, but spend it with you guys, answering your questions. Wineria, I want to ask you, and I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing Wineria wrong. Where are you from? I am from New Zealand, even though I'm very sure that my accent sometimes will err towards sort of British South English, which I hate it when people think that I'm English. I'm from New Zealand, and I've lived in London for the past 6.5 years. I like the idea of the ladies, or maybe the femme fatales. I do too. I do too. I have a lot of plans, but I'm wanting to keep them close to my chest at the moment because I'm not sure in what order they will happen. And I'm developing, as I say, new stories with different artists, and I sort of can accept that I'm at risk of becoming the collab guy. So I want to make sure that I'm doing keeping up with my own individual projects too. But to be honest, the bit that I loved about the Gentleman was creative directing, or rather directing a bunch of amazing people, and sort of having a vision and executing that with a brilliant team. So I intend to make collabs a bit of a hallmark of the channel, I guess. You're a straight-up filmmaker, Atlas. That's far too kind, but thank you very much. I certainly loved doing it, and I'm certainly keen to explore this idea that we might be, I guess, I'm choosing my language carefully here because I don't want to say creating anything new, because nothing really is new. ASMR, there are millions and millions of amazing ASMR videos, but I want to, I guess, be telling stories in a way that is relaxing and ASMR-y, and pushing sort of genre boundaries and creating cinematic and immersive experiences. Does that sound high-minded enough? And I want to be doing that with my own sort of unique, I say unique, with my own sort of eye and style. Okay, that explains the New English accent. It certainly does, Gary. Do you speak any other languages? Asks Internet Dude. Hey, Internet Dude. Thanks so much for coming. Do I speak any other languages? Unfortunately not. I have enrolled in a course with a university/polytechnic in New Zealand to learn how to speak more Maori, Maori being the indigenous language of New Zealand. And in New Zealand, Maori is taught in schools, and so I know a small amount of Maori. Hey, sign. But it would be really cool for me, so I should make an effort not to knock the microphone in a vaguely soft-spoken video. It would be amazing for me to learn more Māori, so I feel a little bit more sort of connected to home, because, frankly, I'm homesick. And New Zealand is accepting more Māori into their sort of idiom and dialect year by year. Yeah. Patrick Dawson. Hey, Patrick. I found you because of the gentleman via Articulate Design ASMR. Holy Lord, your voice is creamy, good sir. Thank you so much. I was a bit self-conscious about my voice as I was for like 5 minutes sitting here waiting for the stream to turn on, because I feel like I'm losing it. Do you have a favourite video on your channel so far? I think the gentleman has to be it, to be honest. Just because of, not least because it took me the most time, but also it's just had such an amazing response. Not that my other videos haven't, again, in all humility, it's been a great process, but yeah, the gentleman, let's say. Jess, did the gentleman choose their own names, or did you choose them? I threw out suggestions, and then the cast either accepted my suggestion or tailored it, or in some instances chose their own. And for the eagle-eared of you, you will hear that I've got some sort of distant birds and wind sounds in the stream, which I thought would, pump up the ASMR-iness of this. Sign, I already said hello to you, but I'm very grateful that you've come to join. ASMR Jeremiah, I'm obsessed with the haka. Yeah, I think the world is. It's a cool. It's a really. I love how New Zealanders are sort of portrayed in sports and the media and film. I think we've got a good rep. I think. Certainly in such a tough political time as this, our leader, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, has been truly making waves and good decisions. And I should stop right there before I get too political on this live stream. Gosh, the chat. it's amazing having people here. I'm going to be constantly remarking about how crazy that is. I think having 140 people at the premiere of The Gentleman last week blew my freaking mind. It was mental. I couldn't keep up. Yeah. New Zealand is an absolutely gorgeous country with lovely people. Nathan, ASMR, I entirely agree. Why am I here? I love London too, but for quite different reasons. I think my career necessitates somewhat that I should be here, but New Zealand's green pastures, I'm sure, will be waiting for me at some point. My mum lives in New Zealand, has been told if she comes to England to go visit, she won't be allowed back to New Zealand, so I think it's a long time I'll be able to go and see her, says Eleanor. Yes, unfortunately, that seems to be the way of the world at the moment. Yeah, New Zealand obviously have done very well when it comes to sort of boxing in coronavirus, so, pardon me. So they're now having to face a rather difficult decision as to whether or not they sort of box themselves out from the rest of the world and, maintain their very healthy but, very sort of isolated economy, or do they expose themselves to coronavirus and be a global country? Tough choice. Wow, so many lovely folk, says Nathan here. I completely agree. This is crazy. You lived on the North Shore, Muzz? God. I used to have a bit of a prejudice against the North Shore. I think, people who live in the city do. I used to live in Mount Eden, if that makes any sense to anyone. The question, asks Katie ASMR. Katie ASMR, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure many people do know Katie ASMR. We started our YouTube journey at around the same sort of time, which was, 5-6 months ago. We're still fresh newbies. And it's been amazing watching her grow and watching her sort of legion of emotionally devoted followers really, really love her. So, question, would you rather be a really, really tiny giraffe or a giant caterpillar? Tiny giraffe. I'd love to be a tiny giraffe. Mount Eden, sweet. I was wondering where you lived. Fate Loves Tomorrow. Made it. Sweet. Yeah, everyone loves Katie. Katie's amazing. Anyway, I was thinking that I wanted to do a live stream because I intend to work on some, I guess further to the gentleman, some more ambitious projects. Projects that I can't bash out a week on a week, I think. I still want to do some of the readings, but I want to lean into the storytelling thing as well. So, I wanted to establish live streams as something that I maybe do every other week, because, even the animations on the reading videos that I do, don't take any small amount of time. So, I'm playing around with my channel. To be honest, after the premiere of The Gentleman, I've spent the entire week in this huge identity crisis for the channel. Who is Atlas? Because, hey Tippy Tappy, because the Gentleman was such a cool. God, I need to make sure not to spend the entire chat just talking about The Gentleman, even though, hey, that's what I want to talk about. It's what people want to hear about, I'm sure. Yes, it's sort of. I made peace a while ago with the fact that the readings were for me. Me being sarcastic and reading fairy tales was going to be very much for me because I enjoyed making the videos, and they would never ever be things that people were searching for on YouTube. Cheers to everyone in the chat who is new. I hope you're having an amazing Friday. Presuming it's Friday for most people. It might be Saturday if you're on the other side of the world. And so, I was resigned to the fact that I would just be making these cool ASMR videos, and the people who were watching them would be enjoying them, but they weren't going to be never particularly far-reaching. This is me not really understanding really how the YouTube algorithm works, but it was certainly content that no one's really asking for. But as I've sort of become more comfortable in the genre and more comfortable with ASMR and more comfortable trying new things, I guess, with the people that I'm meeting through this journey, which are, very much the likes of, Tippy Tappy and Sign and, who I've collaborated with twice now, and, two great friends, and I can't speak highly enough of them. It's sort of, I've become more comfortable trying new things, and this, I think, was engendered, or at least the genesis of this was Jodie Marie's fantastic Alice in Wonderland collab, which, if anyone hasn't seen it, is a true masterwork. Even, bigger than The Gentleman. Jim Chi ASMR, who many people here will know, he edited it together, and it's phenomenal. It's a full-on ASMR Alice in Wonderland movie. That opened my, and Jodie, bless her, asked me to be the King of Hearts. And I was like, why? I haven't done any role plays. But it sort of sparked, filming it was so much fun, and the video turned out quite cool. I really enjoyed how I was never going to put it on my channel, but then it came out, and I was like, actually, I'm quite proud of this. Why not? So I did, and it's just opened my eyes to the fact that ASMR is can be, for me, a very different thing than just readings. Chat is full of my faves of goodness. Hello, you amazing people. Fate loves tomorrow. I completely agree. Everyone here is just the best. Well, now you've done The Gentleman, you'll know how Ross from Friends, or Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow. Kit Harington, indeed. I completely agree. I'm hoping that I haven't boxed myself into Alfie Strong from The Gentleman. I think that I look like him, but I certainly don't behave like him. Although, I must say, I do like the idea of doing more, I guess, rude characters. Okay. Internet dude, how much alcohol do you have to drink to get drunk? A lot. You, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the pub culture in the UK was not what I expected when I came here. New Zealanders love a drink, but this is a whole different level, and it's just become your, what you do after work. You go to the pub, you have a beer at the pub, and so I don't tend to get drunk that easily. Not really sure what that says about me. Okay, let me catch up on chat. What music have you been listening to, Atlas? That is a fantastic question, one that I don't have an easy answer to. If anyone here hasn't listened to Tom Misch, that is Tom, then Misch, which is Misch. He's been my real sort of flavour of the past 3 years. But I'm sort of re-binging him. He's he does this very, very sort of funky electronic acoustic, and I just think that he's so generally accessible. He's amazing. Anyway, check him out, Tom Misch. Experimentation is the key to growth. You're headed in the right direction. Thanks, Jenny. I think that, pardon me, I think that you are absolutely right. And Nathan ASMR, I need to learn from those ASMRtists who release literally every day or two. My mind is blown on how they pull it off. Yeah, I just don't think that I'm ever going to be one of those ASMRtists, to be honest. Because, it's really cool that they do that, but I just don't know how they find the time. And don't know how they have this sort of capacity, emotionally and mentally, like I find releasing an ASMR video. Very time-consuming and stressful. I love it. But, yeah, I think ASMR is such an amazing vehicle for just doing whatever you're passionate about. For instance, if you enjoy drawing, as I do, you can do drawing ASMR, or you can make huge films, or you can do anything you want and call it ASMR. It's really, really cool as a sort of unifying experience. But yeah, as I say, I want to explore where the gentleman route can take the channel. And I think I'm distilling, why the gentleman worked. Part of it was collaboration, part of it was world building and a new story. Part of it was the sort of execution of it and sort of how it was framed. Part of it was sort of fan service, like very much we were sort of creating scenes with the people who followed articulate design, for instance, or Jim, or Tippy Tappy, or Sign, or Jeremiah, or whomever, with them in mind, and therefore the people who watched it and the people who followed these artists probably enjoyed them. And I think that's sort of a fun conceit to play with. Anyway, let me catch up. Fred ASMR is the king of rude ASMRs, in case you need some inspiration. I love Fred. Fred's voice is mental, and I've listened to many of his rude ASMRs in the past. Atlas, what's your preferred drink? Beer. 1,000 times beer. I love beer. I'm not a soft drinks person. I'm either a sparkling water person, and I know that might be a divisive statement. I don't really know why. Some people, it's quite a polarizing idea for some. Sparkling water, for whatever reason. I love sparkling water. Seb, I love Tom Misch. Yes, good. Let's hang out, listen to Tom Misch together, and play guitar. Nathan, I saw Tom Misch live. Yes, I did too. Okay, Caddy ASMR has another question. What would be your ideal place to live or go on holiday if there was no limitations? The place doesn't have to be real. I think you asked me this for my Q&A. You know what? My ideal place to live is right here, right now. I love my current flat. I love London. I'm very just grateful for everything in my life. So, yeah, not going to overcomplicate that answer. But the place doesn't have to be real. Let me think about it. Eleanor, does it feel weird knowing that your videos are what people use to help them relax or sleep? Such a personal experience. Sort of. I mean, it's sort of lovely and amazing. I think, I want to try and make the sort of ASMR that I would fall asleep to. And The Gentleman is that exact thing. It's sort of like a radio play, like an old-fashioned sort of radio play, or like a podcast like Serial, one that has a sort of story that you can sort of follow along, sort of like listen along to and gradually fall asleep to. And so I completely understand why people would fall asleep to that. I think, to be honest, I found the idea of people falling asleep to my fairy tale readings slightly a more difficult concept, because if you've listened to my fairy tale readings before, you'll know that they're full of me laughing. They're full of me having a great time, sort of softly reading these fairy tales and sort of conjuring these weird animations. And it always surprised me when people would leave me a comment being like, I've fallen asleep to this, which is, awesome, to be honest. I mean, I struggle sleeping. I know a lot of people that struggle with sleeping, including my mother. And it's nice for me that I can make something that helps someone get to sleep, if that is indeed what I'm doing, if that's how it works. Anyway, great question. Oh God, I am not keeping up with the chat at all. I'm so sorry. The Cozy, thank you so much for coming. I've watched your videos before. Your lighting is incredible. When it's safe to travel, I'm coming to the UK. I've grown close to a lot of you, and I cannot wait to meet y'all. Yes, that is one of the worst parts. No, I say that. that seems insensitive. It is a bad part about this pandemic that we cannot meet each other, because so many ASMR artists that I've grown close to live in the States and various other places. So yes, when the world starts moving again, I want to go to LA, I want to go to Germany, I want to meet and hang out with and have a beer with all of you lovely people. Sparkling water is angry water. I disagree. See? Polarizing already. Internet dude, if you have to dye your hair, which colour would you choose? I would choose something like blue. I think I would absolutely rock blue hair, but I'm too insecure about my hair to ever dye it. Cuddy ASMR, it's my one question, sorry. Yeah, well, next time. Danny! Hey everyone, Danny is in the house. I love Danny. Danny, Idlewild ASMR, everyone must know, but is just the biggest supporter of everyone, and was kind enough to moderate for my for the gentleman premiere, which was probably needed because there was a lot flying around. Maya, I've already at the beginning of this stream sung Maya's praises, but Maya was my inspiration for streaming. And I watch Maya's stream on Twitch, and if you haven't seen it, you must. Maya's stream on Twitch many times. She is impossibly engaging and incredibly relaxing and just so nice to watch, and her audience and sort of fan base are incredible. So highly recommend checking out Maya's Twitch stream. But I've been saying to Maya for so long that I've been wanting to stream. I've been wanting to try it out because I think at some point, at various points, every couple of months, I feel the fatigue, and I think this is shared by a lot of other ASMR artists. You feel the fatigue about getting into sort of your own rhythms with ASMR creation. I realise that I'm doing a lot of gesticulation. And I saw live streaming as a means to break free of that, and also quite a cool new form of entertainment. I say new, obviously live streaming's been around for a long time, but to me, I didn't understand live streaming until I watched a few. And the fact that you could have a window into this person's life, and talk to them live in this sort of goggle boxy sort of scenario. That's not the right reference, but it was really fascinating. It's really fascinating, particularly in a global pandemic where you can't travel, and your outlet sort of sometimes is just this box. You're able to sort of engage with people in real time on the internet. Anyway, chat. ASMR parties are the best parties, yes. Whispering Joe, how do you look so good every day? Oh, Whispering Joe. Without wanting to start too much of a fan stampede towards Whispering Joe, Whispering Joe is the author of Where the Ducks Go. And if you followed this channel for a little bit, you would know that Where the Ducks Go is an original story written by the very handsome Whispering Joe. And it's a hugely charming story. And he's given me the most recent chapter to have a skim over. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious to the point that I don't know if I'll be able to read it on my channel because I'll be laughing the whole time. Or rather need to find a different way to read it that isn't me laughing all the time. Anyway, Southern Belle ASMR. I love you, Southern Belle. You are great. I have watched your videos many a time. Why are you so lovely? Hard to say. Probably the beer. Let's say the beer. Eleanor Phillips. Would you consider doing a UK meetup for ASMRtists and listeners? I absolutely would. And in fact, I think much of my sort of launch into this industry and into my current sort of ASMR friend group was an ASMR meetup that we did with Sign ASMR, Tippy Tappy ASMR, Katie ASMR, Sleepy Kitty ASMR, and Maya ASMR. And even though we've only met up once I believe once, yes. Well, I've only met up with them once. We're now like crazy good friends and chat every day. So yes, I would absolutely love another meetup. Anyone who wants to get a drink in the UK when I guess this has all calmed down a little bit, let us know. Okay. You would rock Blue Atlas. What does that mean? Oh god, where are we? In the chat. I'm going to have to sort of skim down. The Gentleman Premier was a time, wasn't it? The Gentleman Premier was like nothing I've ever experienced. Listening to you in Battersea Park, Whispering Joe. You are, as ever, a disgruntled flamingo. Yeah, that's a fair description of me, to be honest. Perfect ASMR. Hello, I love you. I saw that video. Yeah. Ian, Bearded Audio ASMR. I was waiting for you to join the chat before I credited this lovely background music I've got to you, which is the meditation folder that you've put together. So thank you so much. And indeed, for anyone who doesn't know Bearded Audio ASMR, Ian is a fantastic sound engineer and helped me a lot with the mastering for the You Got This collab that I did with Sign ASMR and Tippy Tappy ASMR. So yeah. Whispering Joe, classic deflection. So funny I won't read it. Thanks, Atlas. You're welcome. Of course, I've already told you that I'm going to read it. So anyway. Beside ASMR, what do you watch here on YouTube? Asks Internet Dude. I mainly watch Photoshop tutorials. Which might seem a bit nerdy, but there you go. I'm a nerdy guy. What advice would you give to someone wanting to start an ASMR channel? I was lucky enough and humbled to be asked to do an interview from in fact Ian, Bearded Audio, for the ASMRschedule.com website. And I answered it then that at the time I was 2 months into my, YouTube ASMRtist career, and I must use career in as many inverted commas, whatever they're called, apostrophes, as I can. And that I sort of didn't feel comfortable giving advice because I was so early on in the process. I guess now I'm slightly further in. I guess actually my advice would be the same as I sort of hinted at then, is that do collaborations. The ASMR, God, my stomach is going crazy. The ASMR world and ASMRtists generally are so giving with their time and expertise. And there are many bigger channels, amazing big channels who are sort of good enough with their time to collaborate with smaller artists. And an example of this was very early on in me doing ASMR, the astoundingly brilliant Whispers Red ASMR, who's she's, the big dog. She's the big dog. She's amazing. She asked me and a bunch of other UK-based ASMRtists to put together this great British collab, ASMRtist collab. And I was so grateful to be asked to be a part of that, because at the time, I think I only had like 50 subs. Like nothing. Not even a blip on the radar. And that, as you can imagine, shot my sub count way up. And I think a lot of the people who possibly are here would have found me through that collab. So, I would recommend, one, starting with minimal gear. You don't need, really, you don't need an amazing camera. You don't need an amazing microphone. I think the Corona Satori Lo-Fi Challenge is testament to the fact that you can create fantastic ASMR with no equipment, really. But when you're in the community, one, be in the community. Really, make friends and interact with people. And then, try and work with them. Like, the gentleman, as I've said before, was sort of me wanting to work with some of my faves, you know? Like, Articulate Design was the first ASMR artist that I properly binged. Like, listened to him night on night on night. I loved his stuff. And now he's a mate. we message all the time, and he was so giving with his time for, and I'm not going to say the gentleman. I mean, I just said it. Damn it. Tippy Tappy's started a drinking game. Okay, where are we? Where are we on the chat? Nicole asks, hello everyone. Not sure if this has been asked already, but what are your favourite books? What do you recommend? Recently, I've been reading... oh God, what is that book? This is going to be such a boring answer if I can't think of what book that was. Damn it! I'm going to have to just park that question because I've forgotten. Is it called Never Let Me Go? I mean, that is also a great book. Damn it. Anyway, it's a one about being in a hospital and a sort of junior doctor's account of being in a hospital. And it's really, really, really good. Very funny as well. I would also recommend The Gun Seller, which is a book written by Hugh Laurie, to everyone. It's incredibly well written, very funny. Streams are very important for ASMRtists. Yeah, I've also been told this. I think that I never want to produce content that is in any way sterile or not reactive, I guess, to what my viewers want me to create. And I guess to that theme, I've never really asked my subscribers what they want to see on my channel. And I think now is probably a good chance if you have any strong desires to see me do one thing or another. And before you say the gentleman part 2, drink. Yeah, I know. But if you want to see more readings, or if you want to see more role plays, or if you want to see a specific thing, I don't know, now's the time to let me know, because I want to take this stuff on board, you know? Like, I want to make content that people want to watch. And I think that was a while coming to that realization. Yeah, in collaboration with making videos that I want to watch. I think it's important that when you are making videos, ASMR, any sort of anything, that you are making things that you personally like and you personally want to see or want to hear. Thanks for the kind words. You're welcome, Ian. God, I'm really behind. What's your favourite food and dish? That wasn't particularly soft-spoken, I apologise. Probably spaghetti. Spaghetti bolognese. Let's do that. Whispering Life. Yeah, I found you through Emma. I know you did, and I'm so glad that you did. Yes, no, Tippy, I know that I'm going to be saying the gentleman a lot. But it's funny, the podcast sort of video, podcast-esque video, for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning of this, I filmed something on the weekend that was a conversation between me and my mate Joe. And we decided not to release it because we didn't think we were interesting enough. But we talked a lot about the gentleman, and I guess that's just to be expected. Doodly-doo. God, dead air while I catch up on chat. I was so nervous before this live stream. I don't really know why, because in some ways when you have people asking you questions, it can be the easiest thing in the world. And equally, I've been inspired, as I say, by Maya ASMR, but also by Relaxing Male. Now, I'm sure many people here know Relaxing Male. He played Tommy in The Gentleman. Take a drink. And he won is a tremendous, tremendous guy. I love him to bits. We started off the gentleman process by actually having an Instagram chat. I sort of video called him at work, and his work looks insanely interesting. Where am I going with this? Yes, but I watched him do a live stream where he just got drunk on whiskey the entire time, and it was really funny. So, the conceit of this is if there is one, it's terrible ASMR, but hey, you guys just get to watch me get drunk over an hour or so. Zussolini. Just keep doing what you're doing, in my opinion. I'm liking all of your stuff. Thank you. That's really, really nice to hear. And, yeah, no, that is really nice. I think that all of what my videos are all going to have in common is me. And I think if you like my sort of general shtick, then you'll never find anything on my channel that isn't very me. And it's important to me. I wonder how many times I've said that this stream, that I keep making things that are very me, that I'm happy with, which is why I'm in the trap so often of releasing things that I don't necessarily, well, I never release anything that I'm not happy with, so I often film things and then go, that's shit, and then throw it in the bin, which people get annoyed at me for, and understandably so, but, yeah. Anyway, Crinkle Lovin'. What? Hey Rachel, how are you? God, okay, sorry. Catch up on the chat. Magic Mike. Perfect. Is that you saying that you want me to do a Magic Mike roleplay? Because I will. I'll do it. Tippy Tappy says, Whispering Life, okay, we need to hang out, and I completely agree. Whenever we can hang out, Whispering Life, in fact, that day is soon, I imagine. Tingly voice. Absolutely love your readings. That's how I discovered you. Funny but soothing and relaxing. Thanks, Tingly voice. But again, I've always been so again to the identity crisis thing as to whether or not the readings are I guess too, if they're relaxing or if they're just me just being a sarcastic knob. Anyway. Spooky Elisa, who do you want to collab with next? Very, very, very good question. I want to collab with a lot of brilliant people that I respect. And I'm asking many of them as we speak at the moment. And, oh God, my stream's doing all sorts of weird things I'm not expecting. Yeah, I want to collab with a load of amazing people. I'm not really sure if I should reveal who they are at the minute, because I want to release them in my typically obnoxious social media, graphically teasing ways. Anyway, Tom is a scrub. Rachel, I could not agree more. I don't know what scrub is in this context, but he's all sorts of amazing. Anyway, catching up. Magic Mike roleplay. Yes. Okay, Magic Mike roleplay. It's going on the list. You're so hard on yourself. Yeah, I probably am. But, I think it's part and parcel with... I don't think I'd call myself a perfectionist, because I'm definitely not. But I want to, I want to make sure that there's a sort of hallmark of quality of the things that I release, and that's obviously in my own head rather than anyone else's. Your sarcastic knobbishness is totally relaxing, don't worry. Hey Dan, thank you so much for joining. Good. Yeah, I mean, that's really good to hear. And to be honest, I want to do more readings, and I certainly want to finish Joe's book, so it's not going to be something that I completely abandon in favour of doing these sort of cinematic roleplay things. Because, I enjoy it. I am fine with the fact that they're only going to be viewed by the people who want to view them, because, at the end of the day, that's sort of what matters. Famcam, yo, what's up? Selene. Oh my god. The stream has been filled with all of my favourite people. Don't reveal, I want to get secrets. Yeah. I think some of my favourite, some of the best, the most enjoyable bits from The Gentleman and also from the You Got This collab is just teasing it. Which is a horribly obnoxious thing to say. But yeah, it's just I really enjoy the sort of ASMR community can really get behind certain certain projects, and are really good just for bigging you up. Like, there's no tall poppy syndrome at all in the ASMR community. Everyone's just so stoked for each other and so happy to see other people succeed, which is brilliant. Maya, you have to go. Thank you so much for coming, Maya. You're a legend. Okay, Gary, it's an all-star cast here today. God, it certainly is. I'm truly humbled. Reading and roleplayers just show more of your quirky personality. Quirky personality. That's on my my dating profile. Honestly, it only adds to the ASMR experience. Good. I agree. Hopefully, there's going to be a big injection of my personality in everything that I do. Grunkle11, what's your favourite dinosaur? Not Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, beige. Triceratops. Easy. Jim is daddy. Jim, I would have to say, is one of my favourite people on the internet. I just think that he's just completely wonderful. Slane, you're all cute, and I love you all. You're cute. I watched your one of your mechanic role plays, Slane. It got me off to sleep one night. It was amazing. Okay, where are we? Internet dude, I have to go now. Goodbye. Thank you so much, man, for coming to join me, drink beer and ramble. Yeah. Oh my God, really? I did. Alpha, thanks for still being here, man. Has anyone not seen Hamilton yet? Because if you haven't, you have to. And I know that I'm not like a lone voice on the internet saying that. But watch it. It's amazing. And someone please do a Hamilton roleplay. I mean, Hamilton was incredible. Thank you. It's not like I'm having to moderate the chat as well. Watch Hamilton. Do it immediately. I saw it live twice, which I was very lucky to do. Luckily, it's been on the West End. When the West End had shows on, tears. I work in West End theatre, so it's particularly hard that particular industry is, let's say, having a bit of a rough time. But Hamilton in theatre is particularly good. There is a Muppet version of Hamilton. Is there? God, I really want to see that. That would be amazing. You could do King George roleplay. Kate. I have considered it, but I think I would defer to early Atlas in saying that I don't want to do any role plays for characters necessarily that are familiar. Because I say this, I've just done a role play where I play a very familiar character. But I'm hesitant to do that because I don't want to sort of let people down of their expectations of characters. And so ASMR Muzz, mod me, bro. I know how to deal with the scum. You're a mod. ASMR Muzz is now a moderator for your channel. Thanks, bruh. What was I saying? Yes. So I wouldn't want to do King George a disservice, not least because I'm not British. Although I guess being a white Kiwi, I'm some form of British colonial type. So yeah, I maybe one day. No, I don't know. Nothing that I ever say is ever set in concrete. So possibly ignore this entire live stream. Gotta go now, but have fun. I should probably turn the sound down on my computer. This is ASMR, people. See you, Tippy. Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to all of our part 2s and part 3 and part 4. Drink more. Yeah, that's probably an idea. I mean, I wanna paint a responsible image for my impressionable fans. I say, not fans, impressionable viewers. I don't like the word fan. Listen to the creator. We're all depending on him for the tingles. Broils. Thanks for coming, Broils. I wonder if me opening another can is going to be ASMR-y or very, very annoying. Not that anyone, I imagine, is trying to sleep, because it's not particularly nighttime in the UK or the US. But hey, it's nighttime somewhere in the world, right? Nice. Sign, I saw your Kylo roleplay and I got chills. Please, if anyone hasn't seen that video, and I don't imagine anyone hasn't because it's been seen by tens and tens of thousands of people, check out Sign ASMR's Kylo Ren roleplay. It's incredibly sexy, much like Sign ASMR, who is, if you haven't noticed, the sort of the dreamy sex god of the ASMR space. Look at this. Nice noises. Beer ASMR. Please ignore my terrible paw. Let's chat. It's great. ASMR Brie, what's your favourite drink? Beer. Still beer. Always beer. Kate Biddle, gotta go, but keep being brilliant and awesome. That is so kind. Thanks for coming, Kate. Alpha, the whole gang is here. Gang. God, it's cool having online friends, eh? He said, in a not very ASMR-y voice. As well as having an identity crisis about my channel. God, I'm being so very... you'll learn a lot about my personality from this very stupid chat. As well as me having an identity crisis about my channel, I also don't really know how ASMR-y my videos are. So, it's great to hear when people find them relaxing and when people find them tingly, because, like, I don't get tingles from my own voice. And, I mean, does anyone ever get tingles from their own voice? Is that a thing? And so, you know, Tiger tells ASMR, yes, get your vodka 100%, please do. Beer ASMR does sound great. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure it's been done, but... Pardon me. Rachel, we've written a fan fiction about Sign. Yeah. Good. Can I play him? Or does he have to play himself? I would love to do a, I'd love to do a Seb roleplay. I would love to do roleplays of, like, ASMRtists. Like, I feel like Articulate Design's very particular verbose cocktail of superlatives would be so easy to replicate, so easy to do a fantastic parody of. Where are we? God, the chat's going everywhere. I forgot, you're too young to know who he was. Lol lol, American Teen Idol. What? Seb? Seb's a 50-year-old man hiding in a sort of early mid-20s body. Please, everyone right now on this live stream, leave the live stream and go and check out Sign ASMR, sex god of the ASMR, Twitter and YouTube verse. Yeah, Muzz, the beer is good. Feel free to call me Tori Atlas. Tori, yes, sorry. I should indeed call you Tori. I've chatted to you before, haven't I? On Twitch, I think. Please roleplay Matt. I will fund this. I 1000% will. I need 2 microphones, here and here. And I need to be talking and holding a platter of goods or doing something, and speaking softly, and then occasionally going into, which won't work because my mic isn't there, occasionally going into highlight words. Whenever I've lost my train of thought, going into sort of say something like delectable, and describing things as if they're the most exquisite and full-bodied flavour. I'm going to work on it. It's not quite there, but I will. Whispering Life, I need a fountain of youth. I feel ancient. Speaking as someone who's seen your Instagram stories, you look incredibly youthful and incredibly beautiful. Katie ASMR, big love to all of you in the chat. Thank you so much, Katie ASMR, for coming. You're a legend. Yeah, okay, it's decided. I'm going to do a Matt roleplay. I'm going to go back on what I've been saying this entire time and do a roleplay of someone familiar. And get everyone really, really nice and angry. Kira. Is Kira in the chat somewhere? Hey, Kira. How are you? Where are we? Polite clapping. Sign is freaking hilarious. Everyone follow him on Twitter. One of the best things about Sign, well, there are so many great things about Sign, so I don't want to limit it. One of the best things about Sign is its amazing meme collection. Please find some way to monetize your meme collection. It is astoundingly good. In fact, I've been starting a folder of Seb memes. It's really quite something. He's hilarious. What's an unintentional ASMR experience that you love? I think my ASMR experiences aren't that foreign to many of the sort of ASMR role plays that are standard canon, like doctors. Listening at the doctors, I often ask doctors to repeat what they've just said. Sort of that, I guess, authoritative position, explaining something to you in very sort of precise, descriptive detail is like crack to me. And so often when they're detailing their procedure, I go, yeah, and what else? Yeah, and then what are you going to do? Not in a weird, kinky way. Same with dentists. Same with anyone like that. Those who have sort of followed, either been to my first video or my Q&A, will know that my first ASMR experience was my grandfather reading a story to me, which I guess goes some way to explaining what I've done on my channel so far. But that is also an ASMR experience, mainly male voice. I don't typically get tingles from female voice, which isn't to say that I don't watch female ASMR, because I do. In fact, some of my favourite ASMRtists are female. But male voice, I think, harking back to my grandfather, tends to give me tingles. Yeah. Hope that answers that question. Muzz is abusing his mod position. Is Muzz going around deleting all of the messages, is he? Selene, sounds kinky, into it. I loved our group chat. I can't remember which video it was on, Selene. We just got into talking about colonoscopies. Premieres, I think, has to be my favourite part about doing ASMR. As I'm sure ASMR Jeremiah, if he's still in the chat, will completely agree. God, pardon me. Yeah, premieres are hilarious. And the premiere for The Gentleman, not to bring The Gentleman back up again, was incredible. Pardon me, all of the bodily noises. Muzz, interesting, right? I was resistant to male voices at first, but now I love them. Yeah. It's, my portal to into ASMR was the same as many people's. I sort of randomly discovered GB. And I had no idea why she was speaking so quietly. And then, when I worked out, when I worked out that that ASMR was this sort of amazing medium that is meant to sort of engender the tingly sensation. It wasn't until I discovered male voice ASMR that I was like, oh, okay, wow, this shit works. But it was partially the impetus behind doing an all-male collab, which, you know, not in the sort of vein of creating ASMR that I wanted to listen to, sort of thing, you know. Oh god, I hate premieres. So much build-up, and I worry the video will suck. I worry that every single time. I get so nervous, one, that no one's going to show up. But two, that no one's going to enjoy it. And I think that that's sort of nothing to worry about in the ASMR community, which sort of gives you a bit of a false sense of whether or not something is good, because everyone is sort of just like all the freaking time, you know, which is amazing. Amazing. Everyone's so supportive. But I don't think there is a situation where you could be in a premiere and someone would just go, this is shit. It wouldn't happen. But they're just, you know, I think, you know, ASMR Jeremiah, he was doing premieres when he first started his channel, and, you know, he would invite us, his mates, to the premiere, and we would just chat shit and watch the video, which is always amazing, because ASMR Jeremiah is this sort of like prodigious talent when it comes to ASMR. He's going to go places. Jim sucks. Rachel, if only. I'm going to meet up with Jim soon. Can't wait. We're going to get a beer. Yeah, it's so crazy how different tastes can be in ASMR, says Sex God, Sign ASMR. And to those who are still chatting on this channel, I don't really understand why you're still here and not over at Sign ASMR's channel, listening to his bloody sexy voice. Yeah, part of the fun of ASMR, and forgive me, I don't need to be explaining this to anyone. Everyone here is perfectly au fait with ASMR. But you know, discovering your own tastes is half the fun, right? I was never a fan of trigger videos. Like, I didn't understand why people tapping on wood or tapping on or brushing this or doing any of those things. I mean, I could understand how they were appealing sounds, but they would never make me feel tingly. Until I watched a tapping video the other day of Bearded Audio's, Ian's. And I was like, just like, my brain just completely melted. So there you go. I've been watching Zeitgeist stuff forever, and Zeitgeist is, I say forever, I'm a newbie, and I've only been watching ASMR for 5 months. But only recently, I think sometimes your tastes sort of progress and change. Only recently have I been sort of getting the audio sensations from things that aren't voice. Like when Zeitgeist sort of introduces the videos, I absolutely froth on that. Jeremiah is almost as cool as you. I would say that his coolness knows no parallel or bounds. His coolness is. I watched his Q&A the other day, and I was blushing the entire time. It was amazing. If anyone hasn't seen Jeremiah's 1,000 subs Q&A, highly recommend it. He's well worth checking out. He'll go places. Tori, you need links. Yeah, for sure. Don't underestimate my ability to listen to Sign and you at the same time. I recommend it, you know. I think if you have Sign this screen, me another screen, me sort of muted, Sign, you know, full screen, sort of headphones on, pants off, you know, that's the full Sign ASMR experience. Selene, I don't necessarily like trigger videos unless they're chaotic. There you go. I don't know. I've never sort of gotten the sort of, you know, what ASMR I struggle with, and I sort of tentatively say that. It's only because I'm on my second beer that I'm being wayward with words, because I don't want to offend anyone who does do this. Is the is the sort of breaking the pattern. That stresses me out for whatever reason. Camilla. Hey, Camilla. Hey, have you ever felt tingles with your own videos? No. One, I think it would be weird if I did. I don't know why. I would feel a little too self-obsessed. Yeah. And two, yeah, just no, I haven't. Which is, I guess why I want to know whether or not I sort of have no comprehension of how ASMR-y my videos are, because, until this point, I've created readings that are, let's just call them somewhat self-indulgent, sarcastic, laughy readings with various animations. And I've never to this point known if anything is, tingly. ASMR Jeremiah, just got back from breakfast, what did I miss? You missed a lot of talking about you. Whispering Life, sometimes I like fast ASMR that Fred's voice does. Yes, I can get on board with fast ASMR for sure. For me, slow ASMR, fast ASMR doesn't really matter whether or not it's slow or fast. But again, further to this chat, I'm still figuring out what I like. I think, you know what? I don't know if this is a controversial opinion. I don't find ASMR relaxing. I find ASMR really engaging. And the times I've tried to fall asleep to ASMR, I find myself too intently listening to what they're doing. I think this is probably because I'm trying to make my own ASMR. And I'm sort of, taking notes in my head as to what they're doing and what I should be doing, and being inspired by them, and coming up with ideas rather than trying to sleep or trying to relax. And I think it really invigorates me rather than calms me. Does anyone else have this experience? Maybe just me. Lots of tapping. Lots of people hate it. I'm always nervous to do it on my channel. You know what? The video that I filmed for my channel that I didn't release because I didn't like it, with my mate Joe on the weekend, was us having a very sort of candid discussion about how ASMR can be polarizing. And I thought that it would be good for a conceit of this video to talk to a friend of mine who was watching me go through this ASMR journey, and who was very supportive. All my friends are very supportive. And it was, and I thought it would be an interesting topic, because it's so often asked of an ASMRtist, how do your friends perceive what you're doing? And we sort of discussed in this, or whatever it is that we did, this sort of like podcast style thing, that ASMR is so often perceived as weird, which it is. There's no getting around that it's perceived that way. I mean, obviously, I think we would all, everyone in this chat, sort of say that it's not weird. But just sort of the discussion around that is so interesting, and it's really interesting to think how it's going to hopefully change in the coming years. It's polarizing. People, for whatever reason, can't stand some sounds. Oh God, the chat's flowing away from me. Lola, hi Alice, please I want my gentleman back ASAP. Thank you so much. Yeah. Same. The good thing about the gentleman is that it lives on the page and will never go away. But there will be, at some point, some form, I'm sure, of follow-up. And I'll just say that. One day. Whispering Life, gotta love you and leave you. Can't wait to have a beer, Whispering Life. Thank you so much for joining. Famcam, I generally only get tingles from scratching sounds. It's so curious as to the sounds that people get tingles from. We should do a kilt fitting video collab. A bunch of guys hiring kilts, driving the viewers crazy. Probably get banned from YouTube. Pardon me. Yeah, we should. Muzz, I would love to collab again. let's get something in the works. Although, you know, as I said to you guys before, if I become this producer of male collabs, I think the internet will take me down at some point for some sort of misogyny. I want to be very clear that that's not my intention. But certainly the two male collabs I've produced, the Gentleman and also You've Got This with Tippy Tappy and Sign, have been incredibly rewarding. I'm a bloody broken record on this chat. Selene, thank you. That's really nice to hear. Oh, God, my foot's going numb. Sign. Sex god sign. For me, it really depends on the type of ASMR. Yeah. No, for sure. I think that the ASMR that I watch most of all is are role plays, tend to be role plays, and I've watched basically all of your videos, Sign. I've watched loads of Jeremiah. I've watched loads of Articulate Design. I've watched basically all the Gentlemen I've binged. And I'm recently on a Crinkle Lovin' vibe. I've been watching a load of Rachel's videos for research, and because she's one of the bloody best creators out there. Jeremiah. The one interesting thing is advertisers like Coors Beer are starting to make ASMR commercials. It's definitely going mainstream. Yeah, Apple did an ASMR commercial like a year ago. And, as we know from the sort of WMAG celebrity features and the various ASMR, ASMR is often used as like a press tour thing these days. Like they did it for Sex Education. They did sort of the Sex Education cast doing ASMR. If you haven't watched Sex Education, it's a British TV show. I think it was actually produced in America though. So ASMR, yeah, I sort of, again, don't, I feel like I'm too young in the ASMR verse to comment as to its mainstreamness, because I would think that the likes of Whispering Life, who's just left the chat, created the first ASMR video like 19 years ago. She would say that it's probably mainstream now. She's probably seen this whole thing grow so fast. And the likes of GB and Whispers Red and Fred's Voice, the people who started their channels 3, 4, 5 years ago, Crinkle Lovin', bloody hell, and if you look at Google Trends, you would see that a year ago the trend peaked. There was so much buzz about it. Crinkle Lovin', Rachel, is it because I'm manly? No, it's not. It's because you're amazing. I tend to film a lot of personal attention videos because that's what I like to watch, says The Cozy. Yeah, I think that it's such an important thing to film what you want to watch, because how else do you know it's good, right? I have a strong ASMR crush on Rachel, Tingly Voice says. Same. Who doesn't? Rachel is who I want to be when I grow up. Yeah. I mean, again, my channel is 5 years old. I'm ASMR grandma. But, keeping it tight. Slide Sounds. Hey, Slide Sounds. Thanks so much for joining the stream. What do you do on the stream if you need a pee? I have no idea, but I've been trying to work this out for like the past 10 minutes. Kira, I feel I'm so new to ASMR that I can't really comment on things, Yeah, but the interesting thing that I've found, my ASMR journey has been, I guess, 5 months old. 5 months old. I'm making no grammatical sense. I'm a beer and a half in, and I've become a complete word I won't say. Yeah, is that ASMR creators are joining every day, and that at some point you'll click your fingers and you're 5 years on down the road, like Crinkle. And I think at some point you just need to accept the fact that you are, making ASMR. And every day in every video you're learning a hell of a lot of new things. But Kira, I completely get you. And I love your stuff. You're amazing. I actually discovered you through that GB review that she did of you. That was brilliant. Okay, where are we at with the chat? Gopi, leave your mic on. Rachel is into that. Yeah, but I can do a private video for Rachel with that. Lol, Atlas, keep drinking. Yeah, I don't think we need to be too worried about that. It'll happen. Hey, it's 8:30 on a Friday night. It's 8:30. We've been going for an hour and a half. Have we? Yeah. Jenny, I'm off. I've got painting to do. Take care, Atlas and everyone. If anyone, thank you so much for coming, Jenny. It's been awesome having you here. If anyone hasn't seen Jenny's artworks, she's done many amazing portraits. She did one of Ruby True really recently, which is beautiful. And she's currently doing a series for The Gentleman. Pardon me for all the burping ASMR. Highly recommend going to check out Jenny. She's incredibly talented. Tom and I peed together on the phone, so you're more than welcome to join. Thanks, Rachel. I would love to. I love that man very dearly. So, yeah, count me in as your third-party peer. I have a great stream. Sign. This is fun. What's the fun part? Is the fun part watching me get drunk? Or is the fun part watching me just call you a sex god over and over again? Why are people here? Go to Sign ASMR's channel. Sex god. Selene, did you know burping ASMR is a fetish? I learned that from Muk. Do you say it mukbang? Is it mukbang? Or is it mukbang? Mukbang? How do you say it? Can anyone answer me? Is a fetish. I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt that there is a love for every different sound in the universe, and burping seems as good as any weird bodily noise. Slight. Do you have a background in art/graphic design? Your typography is amazing. Thank you so much. I do. I am a graphic designer. That is, I guess, what you would call my IRL job. And it's something that I've been very keen to... I was asked this question by Ian, Bearded Audio, before. And he asked, how important is sort of branding to your channel? Because it's clear that you sort of try and brand every element of it. And, not really in a commercial sense, but I try and sort of, design every element of it and make sure that my own sort of personal sort of expression is in my videos. And, if you've seen my readings, you'll know that I do animations and various other things. And, the answer is really important. I want to give as much love and attention and care, that was very Kiwi, to every single possible element that I can. And designing thumbnails is half the fun. And, I hope that answered that question slightly too verbosely. Tom is so incredibly talented and has the best heart. I completely agree. Completely agree. The fact that he was so willing and so, obviously we hadn't met, we hadn't even talked before. I say obviously, no one knows this. We hadn't met or hadn't talked before the Gentleman collab. But I messaged him, or rather asked Sign to message him, and then he messaged me, and we video chatted, and he was so giving with his time for, essentially what is a reasonably new creator and really trusted in the project. And the fact that people trusted in the project, I think, was why it went down so well, if I can say that. An entire video of you trying to pronounce mukbang. Mukbang? Mukbang. This is it. This is the video. And Rachel, yeah, hopefully he doesn't join the stream, and I won't tell him. Drinking game, you should drink every time you call Sign a sex god. I mean, why do I even need to say it at this point? You should all be on his YouTube channel watching him. Go to his YouTube channel and watch him. He's a sex god. Drink. Gary, thank you so much for coming. You're a legend. Really, really appreciate it. Slight, thank you. That's really kind. Yeah. And I should say that I'm like a huge fan. If I can just briefly fanboy out. I'm beginning to think at some point I should end this stream. And, you know, it's not that I'm not enjoying talking to everyone. It's that I desperately need to pee. And we've been doing this for an hour and a half. And it's been a fantastic introduction to me doing this. And I dare say, if I can, I was actually partially inspired by Crinkle Lovin', because I sort of lurked in her stream and was desperately scribbling notes the entire time. But I'm going to do this again, and I just wanted to thank everyone for coming to this sincerely, because it's been a huge amount of fun. My streams are disasters. Yeah, I mean, they're not. They're great, and I'm not going to watch mine back because it's barely ASMR. But thank you so much. Spooky, Cozy, Failures Tomorrow, Sign, Selene, Midnight Hush, Hip Chick, GG. It's been so lovely having you here. And, you know, thank you for putting up with my burping. Another one. And yeah, we'll do this again. Anyway. Love all of you beautiful people. Ka kite ana mas. Yeah, so kia ora team. You've been brilliant. Anyway.